Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm going to be doing a full 12-hour wear test of the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer. This is a little deluxe sample of the Fenty Beauty Primer. It contains 4 milliliters of product. The product is made in Italy, and Fenty Beauty is made by Kendo, which is out of San Francisco. The full sizes of these contain 32 ml of product, which retails for 40 Canadian dollars. You can also buy a mini size, which is awesome, which contains 15 ml. That retails for about $20, and that makes this little sample size a neat $5 sample. And the packaging on this sample is beautiful. It's all plastic, but it's kind of got a silky touch and a nice pump on it. Fenty is just killing it with beautiful sample products. So this primer claims to be shine stopping and pore diffusing. That will help elongate the wear of your foundation. It claims it's going to visibly even your skin tone and texture and absorb shine without feeling dry or chalky. To use it, they say to apply 1 pump at the center of your face and blend outward. Let's get going. This is what it looks like. It goes on kind of beigey skin tone-y, but then it fades in completely clear. And to test this out today, I'm going to be applying it to half of my face, and the other half we will leave bare and see if we can tell any type of difference. So I was kind of expecting a silicone-y type primer that kind of adds like slip to the skin, but instead it feels like a moisturizer that is a little bit like velvety in texture. So like you can feel it sitting on top of your skin, giving you that velvety feeling. And once I have it applied, I'm kind of like pressed into my skin. I don't know if you can see much of a difference in terms of like skin tone or evenness. I would say my pores look equally chunky. Previous to putting on the primer, I just had washed my face and applied a moisturizer. So to test this out, I'm not going to be using the Fenty foundation. I'm going to be using a kind of drugstore dupe almost. This is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. Great for oily skin. So I'm going to apply it to both sides of my face. Starting with this side with no primer. Alright, so there's the foundation on, and I think once the foundation's on, it's definitely sitting a little bit nicer immediately on the primed side, whereas the non-primed side does look a little bit chalkier and a little bit like cakier. I'm kind of surprised that there's a difference, and I really only noticed it on my cheeks. Alright, so far so good. From far away, I'm pretty sure you can't really tell a difference. And now I'm going to quickly conceal under my eyes and do a little bit of face work, which involves contour, blush, and highlight. Alright, so there is the rest of my makeup on. We've got blush, contour, highlight. Lips are on, eyes are done. So I'm going to pop over to Natural Light, let you take a look at this, and then wear test it for the next 12 hours. Here we go. Alright, here we are at the end of the night, and here is what my skin is looking like. Now, I did record this once. Unfortunately, the footage didn't actually record, so I've already done a little blot test based on the primer side of my face and the non-primer side of my face, and I can report that pretty much the same amount of oil came off on either side. The primered side was maybe just a tiny bit less greasy in my very non-scientific test, but maybe just a pinch better. Now if we take a look up close, here again is the primer side, and here is the non-primer side, and I definitely think it looks a little bit drier and cakier, especially in this like lower cheek area. Just looks a little bit more like chalky compared to the primered side. So I do think that as a moisturizing primer, this thing really does make a difference. Everywhere else it looks pretty much the same, and the only other thing I'll say is, like, I have perfect coverage on this cheek, and I've got a little bit of streakiness on this cheek because there were actually some tears today. And okay, this is a pretty cakey. It's really heavy coverage. It's really cakey. It kind of sits in your pores. It's definitely meant, I think, for oily skin, where your oil kind of like mixes with that dry powderiness to like make a nice foundation. But again, the side with no primer, it held up just fine. But with the primer, you can definitely get those like after tear streaks that you sometimes get, which are horrible if you're out in public wearing a high coverage foundation, because there's pretty much no patching it up until you get back home and can kind of blend it up. So it might be pretty hard to see on camera, but in real life I can definitely see, you know, those like weird streaks, and definitely like a general loss of coverage. And I do think everywhere else it lasted really well, just in those areas that got wet. It did not hold up compared to the no primer side. So is it waterproof? I don't know. Does it extend the wear of your foundation? I don't know. Again, like if it can't hold up to like rain or sweat or tears, I don't know. Overall, I think I'm going to give the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer a 3.5 out of 5. I've been testing it for a while now, and at the end of most days, I can't really notice a difference between when I wear it and when I don't wear it, especially with a less cakey foundation. With such a high coverage, cakey, matte foundation, there's noticeable results between the sides of your faces. I think if I were to recommend this primer, it'd actually be for people that have like a drier or combination skin. When you do run into those like patches of dryness and chalkiness almost, where your foundation won't blend as smoothly, because this side looks a lot like smoother, blended, or more like skin, I guess. Whereas this side has those like textural issues because of dryness. If you're oily, I don't think this is going to be like an HG product. I'm pretty darn oily myself. Have you tried it? Let me know your experiences with it down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Huge shout out to my patrons who help make these videos possible. I really appreciate your support. And a huge shout out to you for watching. If you'd like to watch some of my other videos, I would suggest maybe the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation wear test I've done with no primers. And I'll link some of my other primer wear tests as well up in the cards up here. So aside from that, you guys, I will see you all in my next beauty video. Bye for now.